Good morning. Sorry I'm late. Good morning. Good morning. It's the Last Minute Laura show. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Hi everybody. Welcome back. Good morning. Good morning. It is the Last Minute Laura morning show. That's an oldie for those of you that have been around for a while. For those of you that are new, we get together Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Time to hang out, to chat, to talk about the cool stuff going on in springtime, handmade stuff if you like to crochet or knit or sew or all those kinds of things. This is a good spot to come because we like to chat about all that kind of stuff. So if you're new, subscribe. If you're not new, don't forget to like the video. Do I look like a boy from the 1970s? Because that's the vibe I was getting today. When I woke up, I saw my hair and I was like, ooh, we need to go for a 70s vibe, apparently. I look like a boy from the 70s. I'm cool with it, it's fine. But good morning. Hi Louisa, hi Joy, good morning Karen, hi Bang, and Caroline's here too, good morning, nice to see you. As all of you file in, good morning, come on in, take your shoes off, make a tea, come sit down. We've got time, so if you haven't made a tea yet, go make a tea, I'm not going anywhere. I have my Tim Hortons because it's a weekday, which means that's how we keep ourselves feeling like we're not in a pandemic. Get tea and coffee from the local coffee shop. Does anyone else do that? Any kind of thing that helps you pretend like we're not locked down all the time? Your shirt looks cute. Ooh, thank you. This shirt is like more than 10 years old, and I paid $3 for it at a strip mall in Buffalo, New York, because that's where there's really good outlet shopping. And it was a good quality shirt that stayed around in my wardrobe for a long time. This vest is now several years old, I believe. Naturally dyed yarn. Not naturally dyed yarn, but naturally dyed yarn. Also, are you seeing how big these babies are? You guys are like full-grown adult chickens. They're not. They're still the size of like my hand, but I mean, they're very cute. So, how was everybody's weekend? My weekend was actually like really good. I had a really good time. I had like motivation to film for a vlog, which ended up having me get more things done than I would have gotten done otherwise. So the vlog is like accurate to like life, but still also it made me a little bit more productive. Also, can we just acknowledge this lemon tree and how big these leaves are? I'm so happy about this tree. I'm very excited to see how she does outside. A couple more weeks and she'll be outside. Carol, hi Carol, good morning, made ramp pesto and pickled ramps this weekend. Well, I collected some ramps this weekend. Funny you should say. I went with a friend, I went hiking with a friend, and we found fiddleheads. Very neat. Let's see if I can... Fiddleheads. Not very many and not very big, but it was the first time I've ever found them, so I was pretty cool with that. And then also ramps. I didn't know you could do pickled ramps. Because then I want to know your recipe, Carol, because I just took a handful because I just went hiking with a friend, like we weren't actually foraging, we just came across a bunch of ramps and fiddleheads, and we collected a little bit just so I could show you guys and so I could make a stir fry with them. But you can pickle them? And how do you do that? What's your method? Good morning, Rebecca. Nice to see you this morning. Hi, Maggie. What are ramps? So I only knew of them being called ramps like this week. Until then, I called them wild leeks or garlic leeks or garlic onions. Like, there's just a bunch of names for them, but basically, this is what it is. It's like a wild onion, but it's not straight up like an onion. Yes, it has the onion bulb, but it kind of has like these long, they're like, what's this texture? What would I say that's as soft as? It almost is kind of like a really soft corn husk, like the leaves you pull off corn, or maybe like spinach in terms of that texture. It's more stiff than like a lettuce, but it might be a spinach might be the right texture. But it's like a really garlicky smelling onion, a garlic onion. It's like a garlicky onion. So. And they're very cute. I feel like this is a Pokemon. Isn't there a Pokemon that is this? Sid. AJ. Don't you guys know that sort of thing? I feel like you guys would know. Sid and AJ, give me a feedback. Is this a Pokemon? right here. Yes, so they're just like onions, wild onions, but they're not like wild onions because that's a separate thing which grows in our backyard, so I didn't have to harvest them. We just pick them. They're like chives. We use them as chives. But yes, we went hiking, my friend and I. It was so much fun. We saw a gray wood frog. Do I have my phone nearby? I can show it to you if I have my phone nearby. I'm such a spaz and a messy person. My phone is not here, so it must be gone forever. That's how it works, isn't it? Maggie, it is interesting. I haven't used them before. I've never tried either of those things before. I've seen ramps before at the grocery store, but I've never seen fiddleheads. And when we were hiking, sorry, this is just bothering me because this doesn't belong on this side, but I woke up and it wanted to stay on this side, but it also doesn't want to stay on this side, so I'm just like gonna be touching my hair for a little while. A lot of Pokemon have leafy type heads hair. Okay, well, I feel like there's one that actually looks like that though, isn't there? I feel like it. What was I gonna say? Oh, okay, went hiking with a friend, had a really good time. Oh, while we were hiking, we saw a gray wood frog, or a gray wood frog? I believe it's a gray wood frog. Gray tree frog, gray wood frog. No, it's a gray wood frog. We saw this gray wood frog. It literally looked like a beautiful piece of marble stone. It's gonna show up in the vlog because I wasn't filming our hike and then I saw that frog and I was like, okay, fine, I'll film a little bit of our hike. So I filmed a few clips of our hike. I filmed a little part where we found a little babbling brook, which was so much fun. We found a bunch of salamanders. My friend had never seen a salamander in the wild before, which made me so happy to know because I know how to find salamanders. Like, it's like one of my springtime joys is finding salamanders, and it's been that way since I was a small child. So it's part of my spring. So it was so much fun to be able to take her into a forest that I didn't know that forest where we were hiking. I hadn't been there, but I know where in general where salamanders will be in the spring, like the type of environment they like. So I felt like a magical woodland fairy being like, let's explore, and then being like, I know where this will be where salamanders are. And she's like, oh, have you been here? No, I just know what salamanders like. And then I would flip a rock and I would be like, this one is a redback salamander. This one is a blue-belly salamander. It was a lot of fun. Do you have any remedies to calm down menstruation pain? It's my first day today and I'm in so much pain. Usually I just feel really sorry for myself and eat whatever I want, bang. I am not useful in terms of actually finding remedies. I eat whatever will make me feel better. I also like to go for a walk if it's my first bit. For me, my second day is my painful day. My first day is like, oh, not pregnant, and then the second day is like, pain. But I go for a walk. Go for like a good walk. I mean, like, make sure that you are protected from like any event happening while you're out, but like go for a good walk where you're like breathing a little bit hard, maybe find a little hill. Good day to go hiking. Ree, I live. Welcome. Ree. That's how I read Ree, just so you know. This is dinosaur hands, by the way. Hot water bottle on tummy. True, I'll take a bath too. A bath is a good one. I also curl up in my bed and feel sorry for myself. That's a really good one. Helps. I tell Alex I'm in pain. That also helps. Cinnamon tea. Ooh, I didn't know that. That's cool. Cinnamon is yummy, so I can imagine it would be tasty. But, so on our hike, we saw all those things, and then I saw one of those ferns, an ostrich fern, which is the type of fern that fiddleheads come out of. Fiddleheads are the immature sprouts from an ostrich fern. So they're like these swirly little heads, and you eat it when it's wrapped up, but if you don't eat it, it opens up into like a fern. So I'm gonna taste test this because I've never had one. Tastes like green. I mean, it does taste like a vegetable more than it tastes like just a leaf. Actually, it kind of has like a green bean, kind of like a raw green bean. Not bad. Burb. Sounds good. BRB is what I'm thinking. So, yes, we hiked around. I saw an ostrich fern and I was like, that. And it was literally in the wall of a waterfall. It wasn't where the water was hitting, but it was in the wall of a waterfall. So I had to like cross a little creek and then try to find this like fern in the waterfall. And it wasn't like a waterfall, it was like a stream. It was a waterfall, but not like, it wasn't, I need to just get a video for you of that waterfall because it's not like a threatening looking waterfall, but it's slippery because it's wet and there's water falling. Anyway, I found this fern, found that it had one fiddlehead that was coming out of it, and I was like, I can't take the only fiddlehead coming out of a fern because that's how you end up destroying, like that's part of the, that's not how you responsibly forage. So I left that one, and then we found one more like fern on the ground, and I like pulled at it and it wasn't attached to anything. It was just the roots were just on the ground. And then I was like, okay, I didn't know that was a thing. I thought they would be like situated in the forest. But then when we looked around in that area, they were all over the ground. Like the ground, it was like every like 12 inches there was one of these fern plants, which makes me so excited about that area of the forest. I'll have to come back in the summer and then there will be these big beautiful ferns. But anyway, we found this area of forest where they were just littering the forest floor, and I went and like inspected a whole bunch of them, and very few of them were like securely attached to anything. They were just sort of resting on the ground, which I think is so interesting, because I didn't know that they were epiphytes. Like they weren't growing like regular plants. They were growing like epiphytically, just on top of a rock or in moss. Like there would be a moss bed and then a fern would be on it, but if you pulled on the fern, it would easily lift off of the moss. The roots would be holding the moss, but it wasn't attached to anything, which I didn't realize that was a thing. Like my fern, this one right here, my asparagus fern, it is in the dirt. Like it's pretty secure in there, so I didn't realize that ostrich ferns just sort of sit on top of the dirt. Maybe they don't, but in the forest I was in, they all seemed to not be secured into anything, except some of them were like between the cracks of a rock, and that would be pretty secure, but the ones that were just on top of stuff were just like resting. Very interesting. Gender fluid snake says, does anyone just curl up in pain and question why I'm classified as a girl? Yes. Not why I'm classified. It's more like I curl up in pain and I go, no other animal is debilitated by their cycle. That's so confusing. Could you just not? That's how I feel about it. Head, vinegar and sugar and some pickling spices of your choice. Put ramps in a ball, add liquid. I just checked YouTube. Oh, okay, cool. I will check too then. Oh, also, this weekend I made a really cool handmade thing. I made dandelion honey. So I had collected dandelions for heat, vinegar and sugar, add some pickling spices. Makes sense. The ramps don't have to be like blanched or anything. Just put straight in. Cool, but that sounds like fun. But anyway, I picked a bunch of dandelions from our front yard. Our front yard is where animals do not go. It is like just lawn. It's like, it was always just a lawn before, so it has dandelions and grass, but the chickens are backyard chickens, and Thunder only uses a specific patch. So it's like an area that we know is not sprayed. It doesn't have a lot of animals ever passing it, like maybe deer walk across it once in a while, but it's not, what I'm saying is it's not spoiled like gross land. So I collected a whole bunch of dandelions. I cut off the yellow tips, just the yellow parts of the flower, and then I dyed some yarn with the green parts, and I made dandelion honey with the yellow parts, and this is the result. It looks like actual honey. It has a pretty thick honey-like texture, and it kind of has some of the flavor profile of honey. I made 3 jars. I made it on Saturday morning, so when my friend came over to go for a hike, I sent her home with a jar of it. But it's just dandelion blossoms and a little, like, water, because I made dandelion tea, essentially. Like, for a week, I set the dandelion petals in the fridge in water. And then I simmered the dandelion water on the stove for like an hour, and then I removed the dandelion pieces with a coffee filter, and then I added a whole ton of sugar, and then I basically just cooked it down until most of the water had evaporated, and what's left is basically sugar dandelions, like dandelion sugar. But because the dandelions have all that pretty yellow color and the sugar got cooked a little bit, it darkened it down and made a really beautiful sort of light honey color, and it has a really good texture. It's missing that sort of, oh, good morning, Sid. It's missing that, you know that zing that honey has? It's like, you know when you eat pineapples, how it does something in your mouth that you're like, this is, chemicals are happening, you know? The same thing happens when I have honey, like it does something in your mouth that you're like, this is specific to honey. It's not just sweet, there's like a complexity. This doesn't have that complexity, but it does have something that is reminiscent of honey. So when you're tasting it, it could be honey. Like, it could be honey you've never tried. You know what I mean? Like when you taste it, is the audio weird for anyone else? Oh, I'm sorry. Is it? I hope not. Hello. Let me see where my audio is coming from. Audio input capture. We don't need an input, right? Just like this. There. Hello. Is that better? I turned off my input capture. I don't know what that means, but the microphone is still working. Hello, hello. I'm gonna try that. Carol, you should. Hi, I'm from South Africa. It's 2 p.m. here. A little, like a mic is missing. Hello, hello, hello. Which one's better? Is this better? Is this better? One, two, or three? 1, 2, or 3. Those are the audios that you can choose from. 1. You got it. There it is. Oh, Caroline, 2 or 3. So it's 1 is too quiet. No, 2. 2 is, this is 2. Hello, this is 2. This is 1, this is 1, this is 1, this is 2, this is 2, this is 2. This is 3, this is 3, this is 3. You got it. 1 it is. There's more 1s. No, not 2. Okay, 1. It's going to be 1 because now we've got too many people saying that's the echo. 1 is the echo or 2 is the echo? Not 1. Stop switching! Sorry, everybody. I really appreciate your patience with me. Please like the video because I just did a whole bunch of audio fun. Def number 2. You think number 2 is better than this? Is this sound not great? Also, do you see I picked you guys some daffodils this morning? 1 is the echo. So number 2 is better. They were going back and forth as you switched. The one you are on right now is good. 1 or 3. I prefer 1. 1 it is. Not 2. 2 echo. 2 has an echo. You got it. Oh, I know why. I know why. Because one of the audios is coming from the camera, one of the audios is coming from the computer, and that echo is because we've got 2 places collecting the audio, and it takes them a millisecond difference to do it. So if I have both of the audios on, you hear an echo. The chat is lagging. I apologize, guys. I don't know how to unlag that. Like, I don't know how to fix it. Anyway, we'll just keep it like this, and if it gets awful and you guys are noticing it's awful, you tell me, and I will let you know that I will try and fix it. I don't know how to fix a laggy chat. That's something else I don't know what to do about, because I'm not a doctor, you know? Anyway, it's good. Good, thanks. Okay, so, what am I trying to talk about? Our hike. Okay. Oh, right, Sid, I wanted a question from you. I asked you before you were here, but you weren't here, so you didn't see it. What Pokemon is this? Can you tell me? I feel like you or AJ would just know, so I asked, but AJ's not here. What about this? What Pokemon is this? It's a Pokemon, right? Like, it has a hair like this. I feel like you would know the name. Anyway. I found these in the forest, and they're garlic ramps, onion garlics. Anywho, back to the dandelion. It was just you gotta set it to 1 and then wait before switching it again so the chat can get to you. Fair. Sorry. So I made dandelion honey. Oddish. Oddish! I was thinking it was like sprout something. Something sprout. Thank you, Oddish. See, I knew there was a Pokemon. I'm not crazy. So I made dandelion honey though, you guys. That was the cool thing that I did this week. Well, I did a bunch of cool things this weekend. Hiking was actually so much fun. I saw so much cool stuff. I think I have to take you to that hike. I need to take you on a trip in there. because it's a beautiful forest, and the green is just like, it's so magical right now. It's like bright, like yellowy green because it's fresh. Everything's fresh and alive, so it's awesome. So I think that might be part of next week's vlog, is me taking you into the forest, because it's gonna rain all this week. So next weekend when I'm doing a vlog, it's gonna be like insane looking because it will have rained for several days. But like I was saying, I did make the Dandelion Honey. It's not as complex as real regular honey. I made a jar that isn't sealed so that I could do a taste test and double check. But it's got like a honey, it's like honey in the texture. It's kind of like somewhere between like a candy apple, the candy on a candy apple, which makes sense because it's just sugar. So candy apple, honey, and like something really floral, like chamomile tea. So it's like chamomile, honey, and candy apple. Sorry, bang. I believe most of the people here are adults. I'm 16 and love to hang out with you. It helps so much with my stress. Oh, good. Yes. Well, I mean, I'm 28, although only for a few more days. My birthday's on the 6th, so I'm almost 29. But good. I'm glad it helps with stress. P.S. If you take roots from the forest, ramps will not grow back. Always cut low to the earth. So, Carol, I harvested the whole ramp, root and all, but there were probably, like in this section, when I harvested from a little patch of ramps, it was like there was no dirt in between them. It was just like ramps next to each other all over the place. And there were probably, in every patch that I took, let's say 5 from, there were probably more than 100 in the patch. So I was very selective. I didn't take like a handful from one area. It would be like I picked one from a group and then one from a group 10 feet away. Like we were hiking, so we weren't really like collecting food. Thank you for letting me know about the cutting close to the earth, for them to grow back. That being said, this, it was very well established, the ramp patch. So I don't feel that I took more than like it could recover from. Same way with moss, I only take a little bit from any patch and then I sort of like mush it back together so that it can figure itself out. But thank you for that tip. If I do decide to do pickled ramps and I go back to the forest, I'll do that. I'll cut close to the ground. But thank you. Happy birthday, goddess. Thank you. Not until the 6th, but it's the 3rd today, so 3 more days. Birthday week! I know, right? So exciting. Hello, Laura. Hello, friends of Laura. Hey there, Wilma. Good morning. And so I've been playing Harvest Moon. It's kind of a JRPG farming simulator. Super cute. Oh, fun. Do you get to, like, does the land start off like, I used to really like Zoo Tycoon, which to me is like, it was basically a farming simulator. Like you're supposed to make a zoo, but I would just make I wouldn't make an area for people to come. I would just make, like animal zones. And then whenever I was like done the game for a long time, like when I was like, I'm over this game now, I would just like open all the cages on opening day and then everything would get destroyed. And then that would be the end of the zoo for that time. Gotta get to class. Bye, Maggie. Have a good rest of your day. Birthday week for you and my daughter. And for candies, too. There's a bunch of us in, like, the first 2 weeks of May in this chat, I believe. You inherit a farm and have to clean up the field and expand it. Oh, that sounds nice. I like that. That's kind of like what I want to do, like, with my real life. Like, I want to inherit a farm and expand it. Yeah. That sounds like what I want. Been playing Planet Zoo lately, a lot like Zoo Tycoon. Planet Zoo sounds more fun than Zoo Tycoon because I don't care about the people part. I just want to play with the animals. I'm enjoying the foraging. Oh, fun. What do they have? Like, how detailed is it? What can you forage for? When we were in the forest this weekend, I went hiking with a friend, for those of you that have showed up a little bit after I explained it already. A friend and I went hiking. We had a great time. I sprained my ankle, or I destroyed my tendon again. I did something to my ankle. I didn't hurt it. Like, I was fine the whole hike, but I got home and, like, took my shoes off, and my one ankle is so sore. And then yesterday when I woke up, it was so stiff, like, I have a limp when I walk now. and I can't do stairs like one after the other. I have to do it like an old lady, you know, like one stair, next stair, as opposed to like stairs. So yeah, my ankle is pretty muffed up right now. It's not great, but I didn't hurt myself. That's what's frustrating. I didn't have an injury. Like I didn't fall, I didn't trip, I didn't have any issue while I was there. But I guess bracing myself while hiking, I was wearing improper footwear. But I mean, like, bracing myself while hiking was enough to injure myself. It's very frustrating. My ankles are very weak. And if I don't wear like a brace when doing like extensive walking, I'll end up hurting myself, which is, it's frustrating because it's like, I used to be fine. I used to never get hurt. Like I would get like injured like normal people, bruises and scratches. But now it seems like if I overdo anything, I'm injured. Like if I crochet for 12 hours, 3 days in a row, I'm like injured for a period of time. It's very frustrating because it didn't used to be that way. Same with my ankles. If I overdo ankle, like what? How do you overdo ankle work? Like your ankles are literally supposed to support your body. Like it has one job. Could you just please do it efficiently? But it can't. So now I'm all inflamed, and to bend my foot at all hurts a lot. And I'm trying to just deal with it as opposed to doing like anti-inflammatories and going to the doctor. I'm just trying to like get it under control on my own. I'm going to give myself 2 weeks to heal it. And if I can't heal it in 2 weeks, then I'll go to a doctor. I just don't want to have to go to doctors. It's like the world is on fire. I don't want to, like this is inconvenient. I'm pretty sure it's just like a light sprain, and or my tendonitis has flared up. It's swollen and it feels like a bruise to touch and it hurts to move, but I didn't injure myself. So I'm thinking it might just be the tendonitis acting up, which is not great. But I'm gonna just wear my leg braces on both ankles for the next couple of days, and hopefully that'll help at first. And also I'm not, like, I just want to go back to the forest. As soon as I found that place with my friend, I came home and Alex came home after me and I was like, we need to go to this place. And now I can't, like I want to, but I know it will just make it worse if I go for another hike right now. So I can't, but I want to because Fiddleheads are only gonna be here for another like week. So it's just like, I like roll my eyes at my own joints. Like, thank you for nothing joints. My wrists, my ankles, my hips, and my knees are like functionally extinct. They just don't function. They do not work efficiently anymore. And I was talking to my mom about it yesterday and she was like, yeah, did you know aging was going to start before you hit 30? Frustrating. And I was like, right? Thought I was going to get old way later. What mordant did you add to the dandelion greens for the dye? Thanks, Carol, and thanks, Karen, and thanks, Sid. I'm okay and everything, I'm just, like, complaining. It's not there's a bamboo patch and various grasses. There's more as the seasons progress, apparently, and mushrooms in the fall. That's so fun! That's a fun game. Is it a phone game, or, like, a Nintendo Switch, or is it, like, a video game? It's not super detailed, but detailed enough to get not overwhelming if I tackle too much at the once in the game. Good. Well, I'm glad it's fun. I hope it's colorful, or at least like a lot of green. Carol, for the mordant, I used alum, and then I did an afterbath in lye water for a color modifier. I will say dandelion is an underwhelming natural dye. Sorry if you haven't done it yet and you were like, I'm so excited to do natural dyeing with dandelion. I would say skip it and pick something else that makes it a brighter yellow, unless you're looking for like a really muted green beige. It's green, but it's like beige green. It's like, it's pretty. It's just like it took 2 days to make a color that was like, it's pretty. Sounds more than aging. Doctors are almost the safest place to go if you're going out. Everyone is very careful. Yeah, I mean, it does sound like more than aging. You're right. My joints are something, it's something I am dealing with my family doctor. I just mean this specific injury isn't necessarily requiring medical intervention. It's happened many, many times. And every time that I've gotten medical intervention, they're like, wear a brace. Here's an anti-inflammatory pill. I take anti-inflammatories for like 2 weeks and then it's supposed to help. It doesn't really help. I'm sure it helps somewhere on like a microscopic level, but it doesn't help like in terms of pain, Lori. But yeah, if the pain doesn't go away, if I can't tend to it on my own, like I'm doing all of the right things, if it's not helping, I will go to a doctor. When are you making another crochet tutorial? I'm currently making your men's pullover sweater for my partner, and I'm loving it so far. Lebo, good morning, or Lebo, I'm sorry which one is the pronunciation, but good morning, and thank you for using one of my tutorials. I'm glad you love it. I don't know when my next crochet tutorial will be. I was planning on doing a sewing tutorial this weekend, but I got filled up with all of the farm stuff, so I didn't end up doing that. I'm not sure. I really don't know. I don't want to give a promise for something that I can't be sure of, because I'm really doing mostly other things right now. I have a lot of animals, a lot of plants, and a lot of tasks to get done for our wedding. We had our first meeting with our parents about our wedding, and it was like overwhelming, all the things that I didn't really think about in terms of a wedding. Like, obviously I would have gotten to them eventually, but my mom bringing them up was like, oh my god, what do you mean people need to do speeches? Your body tells you to take a rest. Probably, Wilma. It basically just it needs a break from that. Sid, the one I'm playing is from GBA. I'm running it on my little handheld emulator I got. If you're interested in getting into retro games, ask Alex about setting up an emulator for you. Worth the effort, an emulator. Is it a retro game, or is it just on a retro gaming system? Interesting. How do I wash and dry my crocheted sweater? Well, I used to soak them in my bathtub with either a little bit of conditioner or a little bit of wool wash if it's wool, and if it's not wool, then I would always just throw them in the laundry machine. If it's not wool, like if it's just like acrylic, I just wash them in the washing machine. If it's wool, now, thank you Frida for this tidbit, I wash it in the washing machine, but I just do it as a soak. So I do a soak in cold water, I add a little bit of wool wash into the washing machine, I soak in cold water on the machine, and then I do a spin. And then after the spin is done, I lay them flat to dry. We have like a bed that isn't used that doesn't have a mattress on it, so it's like a bed frame. And the bed frame is like those IKEA slats. It's perfect for laying wool out to dry because there's like space underneath it and slats. It's Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Town if you want to look it up. I'm just not a gamer. I want to be. Sid, like I wish I like enjoyed gaming, but the most I enjoy is like watching other people game. I would rather watch people game than game myself. I will game racing games when it's fun, like to race against somebody, or like fight games when it's with somebody else, but like on my own, it's like, I'd rather watch Alex play a video game. He doesn't video game, but like when I was little, it would be like I would watch my brother play video games instead of playing. I don't know why. It's just not my vibe. But I like them though. Like I like watching, but I don't care to play unless I know what I'm doing. Like when my brother used to play like Ocarina of Time, you know what I mean? And like, what was the other one? The Majora's Mask. When he used to play that, I loved watching, and I waited until he played it like 20 times before I was like gonna go into playing it, because I don't want to get surprised. Like I'm very like, yeah, I'm more into the hanging out. I'm like, I don't want to be surprised by those scary spider things inside the Great Willow. I don't know what his name is, but anyway, the Great Gray Willow guy, when you go inside and there's those scary spiders. When I was like a child, that was scary, and watching my brother do it made me not be scared. But if I did it myself, it would be like, ugh. Like, I don't understand how people play those zombie video games where things jump out at you. Horror video games, I don't understand. A horror movie is already too much for me. I can't imagine interacting with a horror movie. That sounds terrible. The ones with the nurses that have bandages all over their face, the scary one, you know the one I'm talking about. Caroline, throw them in the washing machine on wool setting. Most washing machines, at least here, have a specific setting for it. Don't tumble dry, just lay it flat and dry naturally. Don't hang it up. True, don't hang up wool things on a hanger or else they will stretch out. Sid, I get that. I'm that way sometimes. I just want to sit and watch versus doing the thinking bit by myself. Yeah. Are your patterns on Ravelry? No, they are on YouTube, and the actual physical patterns, the only patterns I have, I think, are on lastminutelaura.ca. Kind of like Pokemon games, can be challenged, but doesn't have to be. Yeah, I liked the mini games on the Pokemon games. Harvest Moon is super chill. It's only as intense as you want to make it. That's good. It will stretch and you will cry. Hold on. Oh, it will stretch and you will cry. Yeah, the next time you put it on, it will not fit, and the shoulders will have like weird lumpy things that come out of them from the hanger. Yes, definitely do not hang your knitwear, especially when you want it to, like, from wet to dry, definitely. Good morning! We did a fun thing this weekend. All of the older chicks are in the same unit now. So we have a big container for them, like a big, I'm just gonna call it a tub because I don't know what it actually is called. We have a really big tub, and the teenagers who will be going out next weekend are now 7 weeks old, so they're essentially small chickens. And then the 4-week-old chickens are, they're tough enough, they have most of their feathers, and they're pretty tough. And I put them all into the same container. So there's a whole bunch of chickens in one container and they're all getting along, which is great. I'm looking forward for the vlog. Louisa, I think it's going to be a good one. I really filmed a lot of stuff, like a lot of cool stuff, I think. I hope it'll be fun. I think I offered to type up your patterns so you could put them on Ravelry, but I never got around to it. Sid, literally, don't even worry about that, because obviously I didn't follow up. And nor did I remember. Honestly, reading this, I was like, oh yeah, that was like a long time ago, wasn't it? Don't worry about it. My patterns are not my main concern right now. Eventually, I will get back to the crochet vibe of my life, but right now, the season I am in is spring, and spring, there is not a lot of time to sit down and enjoy crochet. But that's okay, because there's a lot of other stuff that I need to do with my hands anyway, like weeding the garden, and plants. And more plants. Oh my god, the number of plants. Also, we got beautiful eggs yesterday. I figured I'd show you because I collected them before nightfall yesterday. Lebo, I have a rack thingy that oh, Lebo, do you just leave it on the grass to dry if you don't hang it up? No, I won't put it on the grass because it won't dry evenly. If I have to dry it, like if I don't have somewhere really like meant for it to dry, if you've got like a railing, I would hang it over the railing. Also, not great because it's not flat, so you are going to get some pull, but if you can put it somewhere that you can have flat with air underneath it. Like we have a rack that is for that. We don't have it open. It's somewhere hidden in our house right now. We just use the slats of an open bed frame because it works perfectly and it's the perfect size for all of our sweaters. But when we were living in our last apartment, we had a rack that was specifically for that. And for like, you know, the fancy underwear, the lacy stuff that's not supposed to go in the dryer, that would go on that rack too. A rack makes sense, totally. Good. Anyway, these are the eggs from yesterday. Look at our beautiful mixed basket. Everybody laid an egg yesterday, except for Sweet Pea. So what I did was I went into the stash from Saturday's eggs and grabbed one of Sweet Pea, so you can see what it looks like. If every single one of our hens lays an egg, this is what we get from that. I just think they're so pretty. I was saying to Alex, they look organic. Last night when I brought them around to the front. Alex was working on our car, and I was like, if you saw these and like I was like, I don't know, giving our chickens growth hormone, wouldn't you just smack me? You'd be like, these are supposed to be organic. What are you doing making them not? I don't know how to make something not organic. I guess just feeding them not organic. But all of the food at our feed store seems to be organic feed. So anyway, we have beautiful eggs from this weekend. Good morning, Dave. Nice to see you. Merry Monday. So I want to show you our darkest egg layers today. Well, not show you them. I'll show you their eggs. These are our 3 darkest brown eggs. We have the darkest at the top. That's from Clementine, our newest hen. She is a black copper Moran. Then this very dark one down here is from Bluebell. We thought she doesn't lay anymore because she's older than 3 years old, but she has started laying eggs, and they're perfect condition. Like, I'll show you one of Poppy's eggs so you can see what I mean when I say perfect condition. Like, Poppy's are flawed. Poppy is an old hen, so her eggs always have texture to them. Ignore my fingernails. That's just the way it is in the springtime. It's always going to be dirty. Hers always have a texture to them. I don't know if you can really see it, but here, you can see it on this side. It's like a weird sort of, it's just a rougher texture, and that's something that happens with older hens. But look at Bluebell's perfect egg. It's literally, like, perfect. So bizarre to me that she lays a perfect egg. And Clementine lays these beautiful spotted eggs. They're dark, dark brown, but they have even darker brown spots on them. Aren't they pretty? But you can see even Clementine's egg has some texture to it, some pores visible. Bluebell's egg is like literally a perfect quality egg, which is so interesting because I didn't even know she laid eggs anymore, and now she started laying eggs. And then I will show you our beautiful, colorful eggs for the weekend. Got our beautiful blues and our beautiful browns. Let's look at them together. I use an old screen door. Oh, that's true. True. Eggs are beautiful. How old are they when they start laying? They start laying anywhere between 6 months. Oh, shoot. I just cracked Diane's egg. 6 months and like 8 months, I would say. Like some specific breeds take a little bit longer. Here are our darkest eggs and our most colorful eggs. Isn't that just beautiful? Oh, God, I just love it. I don't think I could go back to not having chickens because I love looking at these eggs. So the age of chickens depends. So for like a silky chicken, the little ones, this one right here, for that kind of chicken, it can be up to a year before they start laying. But for what chicken would take less time? I feel like we got one that was not going to start laying. For MJ, our barred rock, she started laying much later too, eight months probably, but between 6 months and 8 months generally. All of our chickens that we've had previously, we've had 2 that we had to like raise up before they started laying. Like 2, we've gotten them younger than when they would start laying, and that was MJ and Marshmallow. They were both under 6 months old when we got them, and MJ didn't start laying until she was like 8, 9, 10 months old, but it was also winter, so it depends. It depends how old they are in the spring, if that makes sense, because if they start laying eggs, like if they're 6 months old in October, they won't start laying eggs until the following spring, like in general. Like MJ didn't lay most of the winter. How is your silky chick? I felt worried for him or her. Bang, adorable. They're both fine. All of the chicks from this batch are doing great. Everybody's eating, everybody's drinking. The little Silky is still half the size of all the other chicks, but she's eating and drinking and running around and screaming and pooping and doing all the things a Silky chick is supposed to do. So it seems that they're doing just fine. Doesn't seem to have slowed them down at all. Good morning, AJ. I'm just waking up. Good morning. Well, it's only 8:45. You know, it's not that bad. Sorry I'm a bit late to the party, but sorry to hear about your ankle. Thank you. It's a bit of a bummer. I'm a little frustrated because my ankle just hurts. I can't really walk well. It's okay. Like, I'm not maimed, but at the same time, it would be nice if I could have a functional ankle right now. Beautiful brown eggs, aren't they though? And I love the color blue. Aren't they lovely? I really think they're really cool. It really adds like a good thing to my life. It's good for my heart to have eggs to pick up every day. I feel like I want them to show, but they won't show because my table is not in a good spot. I filmed so much cool stuff this weekend. I filmed me making the dandelion syrup, so it's kind of a tutorial. And then I also did my natural dye, which is kind of a tutorial. And then it's not gonna work for you guys, sorry. In my country, I've only ever seen brown eggs, never white. Really? Where do you live, Lebo? We have white, usually at the grocery store it's just white. Like brown eggs cost more for some reason. But, 3 doxies, how come they're such a pretty blue? Well, because the breed that lays them lays blue eggs. There's a brown egg gene and a blue egg gene, and then a lack of color, and that's what white is. And you can combine brown and blue to make green, and you can combine blue and no color to make light blue, and you can combine brown and no color to make light brown, and you could do brown and dark blue to make dark green. But yeah, it's just something that happens in the chickens that people have bred in. And they're really beautiful colors, aren't they? I think it's very neat. But, I also made, on video, I made Dutch baby Yorkshire pudding. Oh, South Africa, sorry, you did say that. Never white eggs in South Africa. Interesting. I wonder what the the chicken of choice is for like your factory farms, because here they use the white leghorn chicken for our eggs. Like in the eggs you get in the grocery store are usually from like a white leghorn chicken. They lay a lot of eggs. So I wonder if you guys are using like a sex-linked breed, like the red sex-links, because they lay brown eggs, and that's where we get our brown eggs in Canada. Interesting. I want chickens so bad, but we have bears. Need to figure out housing. I'm in upstate near Woodstock. Oh, cool, Carol. Bears, I don't know if bears would be the issue for chickens. Like, yes, they're a predator, but I don't think that I don't think bears are the thing that chicken people usually are worried about. At least not in any of the forums that I talk in. It seems mostly like the predators that are a problem are things like dog and cat varieties, like wolves, coyotes, foxes, canine, feline, and weasel. So like stoats and weasels and ferrets and and fishers, those things are all dangerous. All of the predatory birds, but I have never really heard about bears being a problem. The only thing I can think of that they would want is the chicken's food. I don't think that bears would like hunt a chicken. Like, maybe, but I don't know. My friend had minks, 818. Yeah, minks, that would go in the weasel category of my predator list. So for my predators in our area, it's either cat related, dog related, weasel related, or bird. So we get turkey vultures, hawks, falcons, and turkey vulture, hawk, falcon, and I think that's it. And then for the weasels, we have things like, I don't know, badgers, possums, weasels, ferrets, stoats, fishers, those things. I don't think we have stoats here. I think we just have, I don't even know if we have ferrets here, but we do have some kind of weasels. Fishers are nasty. Yeah, fishers and minks are like the danger zone. They'll get ya. So you need good hardware cloth, 1/2 inch, 19 gauge hardware cloth. As long as your chicken coop, like the area where they sleep, is surrounded in that, then they should be fine. Like, people have these fancy dancy enclosures to keep them during the day, but our chickens haven't ever had any, like, we've had one chicken lost to a predator. I mean, we're lucky, obviously, but I just learned what a stoat was this morning. I have known what a stoat is because I like watching videos from the UK, and it seems like in the UK they live there like a lot. So like I like watching videos of night cams with like where they'll take a video of stoats, and they have badgers that are beautiful, and hedgehogs. What the heck? You just have them running around? Can you imagine having wild hedgehogs? That's so funny. I think it's funny. They are so cute, right? Well, they're like a mink or a ferret. They're just a pretty little stretched out rodent. They're cute and silky looking, but vicious, which is so funny because they're like a stretched out rodent and they're vicious. Like, okay. But ferrets are interesting too. In the UK, I watch this channel where they do rabbit hunting. I think it's in the UK. It might be, now that I'm thinking, no, it's not in Australia. I feel like rabbits are a problem in Australia though, so maybe. But they have ferrets, this like father-son combo, and they have like 4 or 5 ferrets, and they go rabbit hunting, and they catch like 30 rabbits because the ferrets just run in their holes, and the ferrets like love helping people hunt. And like they don't even eat the rabbit, they just want to scare them out and like help hunt, which is so funny. Because they're smaller than the rabbit, but they're like a little predator animal that you can train. How silly. A hunting ferret. This is my hunting ferret. Like, I don't know, I think it's silly. But in the forest this weekend, when I went on my hike, aside from the cool stuff we found foraging, we also found a million trout lilies, all in bloom, little yellow flowers. They look the whole plant looks like an orchid, like it has 2 lobed leaves, like big leaves like an orchid, but they're spotted. So they kind of look like when you look at the reflection that water makes, you know, like when you see the like water reflecting on a rock in a stream or something, that the color that the people paint the bottom of their pool, you know, that texture that people paint on the bottom of their pool, or the reflection of water on a rock. That's all I can think of what it looks like. So that's called a trout lily. Almost done with my sister DJ BTS sweater. Oh my goodness. Almost done with the whole sweater. I haven't made a whole sweater in seems like a long time. I want to make a big heavy sweater. I need another one. I don't need any more sweaters, but I want more sweaters. I should make another themed one once the weather becomes such that I'm not constantly outside in the garden. But anyway, we saw, when we were out in the forest, we saw tons of these trout lilies, which was very cool. We saw houndstooth something, and then we saw something toothwort. Something toothwort. I don't remember the first word of it, but it had a pretty little pink flower. Something like lobed toothwort. Good morning, Elsie. Nice to see you this morning. But we saw a bunch of different cool flowers. We saw an elderflower tree in the forest, which was super interesting. Tons of different cool fungus. We saw some shelf fungus. Like I said, we found that really cool stone-looking gray wood frog. Really cool. It was way bigger than any frog I've seen around here, like other than like a bullfrog. But we have like little tree frogs here, and they're little. This thing was like the size of like a regular toad, like an American toad, but it was a white and black and gray frog. So cool looking. I did finish the sweater I was knitting for my oldest. Awesome! I had to rip back from the bottom and make it at least 4 inches longer. He is long. Wait, you had to rip back the bottom? Oh, because you like cast it off and like finished it? Ugh, that sucks. 4 inches longer, so you had to remove the like ribbing or whatever you had for the edge. Long, he's long. That's funny. But that's good that you got it done. I haven't done any of I didn't do my sewing. I need to. I really need to sew a shirt for Marshmallow, because she's missing a couple of feathers now. Like she has a bald spot on one of her like the back of her wing from where Baby is holding on to her when he gets on top of her, and none of the other chickens have any issues from our rooster except Marshmallow. And if you guys remember, if you've been here for a while, we have a chicken named Sunflower, and when we got her last summer, she was like completely bald. Her back had no feathers on it at all. Her shoulders had no feathers. Her neck had no feathers. She was bright red. She just looked awful. Like she was missing a lot of feathers. But I knew she was a silver-laced Wyandotte, and I wanted a silver-laced Wyandotte, and the people were just trying to get rid of her because she was like mangled. But we just took care of her all summer, and then she just grew all new feathers. She was just fine. So yeah, so I know that Marshmallow will get better from it, but I also, I don't want her to have to deal with it, so I want her to have a shirt. So I need to make it. I just have to sew it. I've got it cut out. I've got the pattern ready. I just have to sew it together. So that's a task for the next couple of days. Yes, I ripped out the ribbing and picked up all the stitches, and now it's finally done. You're a queen, a goddess, Rebecca. Ripping stuff back is like, I really need to like emotionally accept it before I do it. I crochet a sweater for me, loving it. Baggy, I love baggy. Cozy, baggy equals cozy, for sure. Gosh, you guys. So all of the older chicks are now in one unit. They're all together. Oddly enough, they aren't interacting with each other, so they're in this space that's like 6 feet by 3 feet by, it's more than 2 feet. I don't think it's 3 feet high. 6 feet by 3 feet by probably 2.5 feet. That's the space that all these chickens are sitting in or running around in. They have a feeder, they have a waterer, but the chicken groups, the 7-week-old chickens are in one side of that container, and the 4-week-olds are sitting at the other side, and they aren't talking to each other. They're not fighting. There's no like there's no skirmishes going on. Everything seems to be fine, and when they're eating together, and when they drink together, but they don't hang out. So it's funny because every time I go over to hang out with them, which is like a lot because I love them, they'll interact with me, but they won't interact with each other. So that's funny. And a couple more days, and then the 7-week-olds will go outside, like permanently. They're as big as Sweet Pea, so they can handle living outside. I haven't decided yet when the day is. Doxies. I'm making so many crochet doxies. I've got 15 orders. I'm swimming in doxies. That must be funny. Do you have 3 actual doxies? Like, do you have like 3 actual dogs? Because then that's even more funny. You should take a picture before you send out the orders, and take a picture of your dogs, like with all of the crocheted ones. Rebecca, now I'm crocheting him a Lost Souls skull shawl for Halloween. A Lost Souls skull shawl. Do you think you put enough words that are hard for me to say in a row? Yes, cozy cuddle sweater. Totally, Karen. Totally. But anyway, they're getting along, which is super. Very happy when the birds get along. We also have these babies, which are now a week old, and they are, as you can see, becoming more active, running around a little bit, looking hella cute. You guys are super cute. The silkies are so small though, like significantly smaller than the other chicks. Look at that. Look, that's a silky. That's a regular chick. It's just like half the size. They're very small. Very cute though, very, very cute. I have 2, had 3, but my other 2 didn't get along with the puppy. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry you didn't get to keep your puppy. But also, that would have been a struggle, having dogs that don't get along. Oh gosh, I just got tired again. Just ignore me for a minute while I just rub my face. Ugh. And Peekaboo, Miss Peekaboo has been doing amazing. Oh, my family member got out of the hospital, you guys. So they still have, they're not out of the woods completely, but they're out of the hospital. The one that got COVID is now out of the hospital. So thank you for your good thoughts, for everybody who said good thoughts, prayers, all the things. I appreciate it. They are now out of the hospital, feeling much better. Not 100% by any means, but at least out of the hospital. So that's good. Great news, very good news, yes. I actually saw them yesterday. I was going to my grandpa's house to bring him dinner. We had 5 guys for supper, me and my grandpa, and it was good. Anyway, I was bringing supper to my grandpa, and we were hanging out, and then they showed up, and I was like, and they were like, I've had 4 negative tests, I'm okay, I'm just here to visit and say hello, and I was like, okay, cool. So they're like well enough to venture into the world, which is awesome. 4 negative tests, so that's good. And also out of the hospital. What's the temperature? What is the temperature safe to put them outside? The temperature is still going down to 30s. Hopefully that's done. My neighbor got 6 chickens about 6 weeks old. 6 weeks old, well, I've seen other people in areas that are of my same temperature range, and they've already put their chicks out, but for us, it's still getting into the 30s, Carol, so I don't know if that's, for me, it still seems a little chilly. That being said, after, they are of size that they would be safe outside. They're big enough and they're fully feathered, but I don't want them to suffer needlessly to get used to it. So I'm just gonna wait until it's like at least 10 degrees at night. Woot, ordered ink and called in to refill my anxiety before. Wow, good job. That's like way ahead. You ordered ink, which is either printer ink, which I have not actively done that in a long time, or decoration art ink, which also cool, and also refilling your meds before they're dangerously low. What are you, a mentally stable person, Sid? Okay, I don't know what that is. Who is that? Good morning, Lita, good morning. But the temperature, I think that, I'm glad your family's home. Thank you, Rebecca. Thanks, Karen. Yes, but I think it's supposed to be above 10 degrees Celsius at night for you to have your chicks outside, which is like, I don't know, in the 40s probably. Maybe it's in the 50s. I don't know how the temperature goes up. I know that 30 something is 0, but anyway. Yeah, I kept forgetting to order ink for like 2 weeks now. Yeah. I just don't have ink in our house. I literally, the last time I needed to print something, I printed it at my mom and dad's house because I just didn't want to go buy ink for no reason, because I literally never use our printer anymore. Oh, also Alex did our taxes. I gave him some information, so I helped, but Alex did our taxes, which was awesome because that's something I find stressful, and that was great. So now our taxes are done. We owed a whole bunch of money because we're both self-employed at least part of the time, which means that you don't pay your taxes until it's tax time, and then you pay all of them at once, and it's obviously you don't have to do it that way. You can pay your taxes in advance, but I didn't do that this year. Thanks for reminding me to call in a refill for my son's ADD meds. Oh, he'll love you for doing that. Woo, being done taxes is a nice feeling. Yes, it is a nice feeling. It was frustrating to owe money on taxes. This is the first time I've ever owed money. Every other year it's been like exciting. We're all on a journey, dear one. True. Doxies, I love this. I feel like I fit in here. Mentally stable? Def not. Bipolar depression and anxiety? Lol, yikes. Right? It's like... mentally stable. Who is she? I don't know her. Who is mentally stable? Although, to be honest, I've had like a pretty mentally stable weekend. That being said, I did forget to take my meds both days, Saturday and Sunday. But I took them today because it's a weekday. But I did have a good weekend. Hopefully the lack of meds for 2 days didn't throw any like chemical balances off and everything will be fine. He has 6 left. Oh, what a good mom you are. Prepping him so that he doesn't have to go like wild for several days. Although, to be honest, once in a while it's nice to have like a couple days off to be like, oh, I do still need those. Shows up. Hello, and if I miss my med once, I see the effects. If I miss my meds for a couple of days, that's when I'll see the effects. The first day is never a problem, which is a problem because then the next day I'll forget because I didn't remember to do it the day before, you know? If you can estimate the percentage, you can set it aside in savings throughout the year, so it's just a matter of sending in the check kind of thing. Yeah, Sid should have done that, didn't do that. So yes, next year will be different. I've already been keeping receipts this year better, so that we can do deductions for things that are business expenses. I didn't do that this last tax season. It was just everything that I spent for my business was just spent. So that's why I could have had more deductions, but I wasn't organized. So now I'm organized and I'm keeping my receipts for stuff. Carol, did you start that lemon tree from seed? No, I did not. I actually traded this lemon tree this past winter. I traded it, I think in like November, for a dozen eggs because I have eggs en masse because we have lots of chickens, but somebody was trying to get rid of it. Well, they were just going to give it away, and it was in like a giveaway area of a plant swap group that I'm in. And I said to her, I'm happy to just take it, but would you like to swap for eggs? And she said, yeah! And then I swapped it for eggs, and now I have a lemon tree. That looks amazing, by the way. I think it's very healthy looking. The leaves are so much bigger than when I got it. And they like droop now, doesn't that look like it's thirsty? It's not. They just like droop that way because they're so heavy. But they have sunlight every day, and it's gonna live outside. It's gonna be an outside tree this summer, and it's going to be on our patio, because we're going to have a patio. We're going to have this on the patio, a fig tree, a bird of paradise. We're going to have like 3 large houseplants outside. It's going to look awesome. Lita, sweet deal. Agreed. Hey, Jay. 3 sisters, our graduation this week from DJ from high school, Amasi and Shatara from college. Ooh, Shatara. That's a pretty name. Shatara. I love Tara and like, there's another name that has Tara in it that I really like. Tara. Can't remember the other name that has the word Tara in it, or the sequence of letters Tara in it. I like that name, AJ. Anyway, yes, next year I will have my taxes done in advance so that I don't go, oh my god, I owe so much money to the government. Alex and I had a talk though, and we were like, ugh, taxes are taxes. It's always gonna suck. Like, it's just, you gotta pay them because I want my road to be salted in the winter. So, I'm not mad about the fact that I'm taxed. I'm just mad about the fact that I wasn't organized enough to be prepared. Tara Lynn. No, that's not it. Pretty name, though, Tara Lynn. Maya, I like the way your name is spelled, too. Probably throws people off. Doesn't throw me off. But I'm sure that some people read it. I love when people read names so wrong. I read names wrong, I know I do, but I would appreciate if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, just spell it out phonetically so that I can pronounce it properly, because I would prefer to pronounce your name properly as opposed to just butchering it for 2 years. Candies. I've been calling Candice for 2 years on this stream, and then like a couple of weeks ago she was like, it's actually pronounced like multiple candy, like candies, and I was like, cool, I literally have seen you in person multiple times calling you Candace, but whatever, sure. Now I'll just switch over my whole brain. And now I have to remember Candies. Obviously, if someone has a different name than what you thought they did, you've just used the new name, obviously. But my struggle is that my brain has pronunciation issues already. Thanks. Yes, sometimes I get Mariah or Maya. Okay, I could see Maya. But I would say Maya because, like, I think, like, Mai Tai or nope, that's it. It's just Mai Tai that I can think of. Anyway, what's going on with you guys? I feel like I'm just blabbering about nothing. What's going on with you guys? Alicia, my twin, and I are jump starting our business. Oh, that's awesome, AJ. What business is that you're jump starting? Also, because the last vlog was so ugly every time that I was pointing at something because my fingernails were disgusting, I painted my nails for you for the vlog. So this week's vlog will be less visible cuticle. I painted my nails again. And I also tried to get all the dirt from my cuticles and under my nails. It didn't work. I look like somebody who is like a heavy smoker who rolls their own cigarettes. In the spring, that's how my fingers look. You know what I mean, right? Where your fingers are just eternally kind of dirty. It's just that I can't do anything about it. I scrub them, but I have so many cuts on my fingers that dirt just gets into, like, look, there's literally this finger. There's a cut on my finger, but it's dirt. There's dirt in it, and I've scrubbed it. Like, there's not dirt in it, but there is. It just got sealed into my skin. My skin is just eternally has soil in it for the months of, like, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December, and January, and February. I really, most of the time, am, like, playing in the dirt, but still, this time of year, it's, like, so much more. Lucy, good morning. Trying to finish up some school assignments, almost done with the semester. Yes. When does the semester end? My little sister's a teacher, and they're not going back to school this year now. It's just online class for the rest of the school year. God, you're so cute, little birds. That's exciting, Lucy. Very exciting. Soxy Nana, good morning. Nice to see you. Good morning. Welcome, or welcome back. Yes. I have a donut here, so please excuse me briefly. I also found out that my extended family watches my vlogs yesterday, which was like a mixed feeling of pride and horror at the same time. Also, I love you guys. Thank you for commenting on my vlogs and for liking them. Finding out that my whole extended family watches my vlogs but doesn't leave a comment, I was like, hello, I don't even know you're watching. When I was at my grandpa's eating supper with him last night, don't worry, I was masked when I was not eating. And when I was at his house, I was like well beyond 10 feet probably away from him. I was in the farthest away couch from where he was sitting. But it's all good. Everything was fine. And don't worry, I didn't touch anything and I washed my hands when I left. Like, it was as safe as it can be, but I bring my grandpa dinner on Sundays. So I was there. And then he called our extended family out east. We have a lot of family in Nova Scotia. And he called because I was explaining to him that I collected some fiddleheads. And he said, you know, that's like an East Coast thing. And I was like, this is the second time I've ever heard that. While I was on my hike, a group of hikers passed by us where we were foraging. And they said, what are you looking for? And I said, like, we're just looking for fiddleheads. And they said, oh, are you from out east? And I was like, I mean, like, no, but also kind of, like, I have family. And they were like, see? And I didn't know it was an out east thing, but apparently Nova Scotia is the capital of the world for exporting fiddleheads. They have an island in Nova Scotia. There's an island that is like Fiddlehead Central. I didn't know this. Why would I know this? But anyway, yes, I do have family out east, as I said to the people while hiking, and they said, because fiddleheads are very Nova Scotia. Okay. So we called that family member, and she was like, I don't really cook them, but my mom did, and like she read out a bunch of recipes, and it was really nice to just sort of talk to, like, we don't really talk to our extended family often because they're far away. Like, literally, like, my grandpa talks to them quite often. My mom probably talks more often than me, but it's like when we visit, that's when we like talk to them. I don't think any of them will come to our wedding this summer. Like, it's like, yes, they would come to our wedding if it wasn't a pandemic. You know what I mean? Like, they are close enough that I would invite them to our wedding, but the pandemic has made it so that they wouldn't come because they're all the way in Nova Scotia. Anyway, neither here nor there. What was interesting about it was that we found out that they watch the vlog, because we were talking, and then she was like, oh, I loved watching the chickens come out of the coop. And I was like, whoa, wait, what? And then she was talking about the things that I showed in the vlog. So now I have to be aware of that. It doesn't change anything for me, honestly. Some parts of me go like, oh my god, anytime I learn that anyone I know watches anything that I make. I know you guys like know me, but you don't like know me in real life. You know what I mean? Like, you don't see me outside of this scenario, whereas like when I see people who see me outside of this scenario and they say something about my vlog, I'm like, ugh, I don't know that you're watching. That's not who I'm producing it for. I don't think of people who know me watching it. I think of people who know me as only this watching it. Like when I found out my sister-in-law watched a vlog, I was like, wait, what? You even know that I'm doing this? Like that kind of thing. It just weirded me out. But it's not that I don't say anything that I'm embarrassed of them hearing. It's just that I don't consider that they're listening, you know? Like when I'm talking to you guys. I'm not anticipating that anytime my sister shows up, I'm like, whoa, you're here? What's going on? This isn't that place. This is a different place than that. I haven't found any fiddleheads, always looking. See, Carol, I'm always looking too. Every time I go to my forest, I try to find those ferns. But I was in my forest with my friend, just in an area that I don't typically go to. We went a different direction than my typical walk, and then there were fiddleheads. So maybe just take a different path than you're used to. Last week of class starts today. That's awesome, Lucy. And exams and stuff will be done by the end of next week. That's amazing. Oh, it's May. You're right. That's right. It's May. By the way, everybody, I don't know, what's the number? When is my birthday day? May 3rd is Monday, 4th, Tuesday, 5th, Wednesday, 6th. My birthday is on Thursday, May 6th, in case you didn't know. And if you were wanting to support me for my birthday, you should like this video and subscribe and all those fun things. So I'm going to go fiddlehead hunting again this week on one of the days when the rain has stopped, because I really need to. I'm going to put on a leg brace. I'll go with Alex so that he can keep me very, very safe. But also, I do want to go hunting for fiddleheads again, because that was really fun. I also did take a few of the ferns home because they were not connected to the ground, and I have forest right by my house, so I just transplanted them closer to where I live. Same forest, so no issue about like moving species, and also same situation, like it was in the same area of where it was, but I moved like 4 ferns. There were hundreds, so don't worry about it. There were hundreds of them, but I moved 4 of them to my backyard where MJ is buried, is where I transplanted the ferns to. So we'll see if they take. That would be awesome if they take, because then we could have big, beautiful ferns by the rock garden, which would be beautiful. Happy birthday. Thank you, Louisa. Appreciate. Yeah, don't forget to like the video, friends, if you haven't yet, because it seems like a slow morning. I mean, I'm happy that you guys are here, but 15 of us are the only number here, and there's only 15 likes so far. Normally we have a good chunk of people in the mornings. I think it's because it's Monday. Everybody's a little sleepy. Sleeping in. The Monday sleep in. Good morning, and oh no, how's your ankle feeling? Mary Grace, good morning. My ankle feels painful. It's not broken, which is great. It might not even, honestly, I know I put sprained ankle, but like, I haven't gone to a doctor yet. It may be my tendonitis flaring terribly. It's the same pain of a sprain. I can't bend it, and I can't twist it, so. But I didn't hurt myself on the hike. I didn't twist my ankle or anything. Just when I got home from the hike, my ankle started swelling. So maybe I twisted it and didn't notice, but like, I'm pretty sure I would notice that sort of thing happening. But anyway, I got home and it started swelling, and by the next morning, Sunday morning, I walk with a limp. I look like a pirate with a peg leg. I can't bend my ankle when I'm walking. It has to stay flat, or else I get really painful pain. It's definitely a slow Monday this week. Yeah, it feels like a slow Monday. But it's okay. It's gonna be a rainy week. It's like sometimes in the spring you get a slow week, which is fine because other times in the spring you get an insane week of busy, 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 which is gonna be probably next week. I'm thinking that's probably next week that we will get into the gardening, because usually in southern Ontario, where I live in Canada, we don't start planting in the garden, like in the actual dirt, until after May 2-4 weekend. We have Alex. I think May 2-4 is Victoria Day, isn't it? Is that two different things? Alex! No, it's Victoria Day weekend, is May 2-4 weekend. Anyway, the 24th of May, the weekend around that, is called May 2-4 weekend. Even if it's not on the 24th, it's just called May 2-4 weekend. Usually it's like the first weekend that people go camping, and they do their big camping, tailgate, drinking, boating parties in Canada anyway, or in southern Ontario. It's like the first weekend of spring, summer activitying. So lots of people go camping, sometimes there's fireworks. And also it's the weekend when you're allowed to start planting in the ground where you don't have to worry about it dying anymore because of the cold. So that's only a few weeks away, and I live in a microclimate because I'm living on a mountain, and the mountain is right next to a lake, so we have like a milder temperature. Even though we have a bunch of snow that comes in, we have milder temperatures just by a little bit. Our spring started a little earlier than the areas around us. Like our forsythia is already finishing, like the leaves are coming out, whereas there's other areas in towns near us that haven't even had the forsythias fully come into bloom yet. So ours is almost finished. Spring is fully springing here. But since ours comes just a little earlier than the surrounding areas, I'm thinking I can get away with planting at least a full week earlier because we're not expecting any more frost here now. So I think that's next weekend. I think next weekend my tomatoes and my nasturtiums and all that stuff, I think that's going in the ground next weekend, which I'm so excited to do. Like, I'm so excited to have my spaces back here because I have so many plants. Like, I don't have a room. I have a second room that is usually for like me playing in, like it's like a tiled floor, so I do a lot of my messy stuff in there, like replanting plants or building terrariums or playing with clay. Like, just messy stuff tends to be in that room, and I can't do anything in that room because it's just completely full of plants, because all of the little seedlings have now been transplanted into their own individual pots, which is great, but it takes up a lot more space. So they're gonna go in the ground. My marigolds are gonna go in the ground. I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited to see everything looking so sparse when I initially put it in, and then just having it explode once it gets into the ground. My tomatoes really will do better once they get in the ground. They're kind of puny and wimpy right now, but it's okay. I'm okay with it. And our green beans, the green beans got some kind of sunburn the last time I had them outside, so I'm hoping to get them out probably today, actually, because I think it's going to be warm but cloudy all day, which is good, so they can get like used to the atmosphere outside. But yeah, I'm very excited to get the garden in, to actually put it in. Plus, then I'll go to the garden centers and it's part of our wedding expenses, so I have an actual budget to spend on flowers and stuff this year, because we're not going to be buying flowers for the wedding. Like, we're not paying a florist, we're not getting bouquets and stuff. I'm going to grow that stuff. So instead of paying for it to whoever you pay for decorations to a wedding, which, oh my god, there's so much you have to do for a wedding, even if it's in your backyard. I knew, but I had blocked it out, and my mom reminded me. Anyway, so since that, I get to consider it part of my budget. So I'm going to plant beautiful, beautiful flowers in our yard all over the place. Also, oh my god, our peonies have come up. Last year they didn't come up. We had a garden in the way, we had a fence in the way, we had pallets on top of where the peonies were planted, and I didn't know, so they just never got to come up. And now there is peonies, bunches of stems coming up about like that big around every 1 meter. We have a garden that surrounds our backyard, like, because we have like a little forest. It's not a forest, it's like a line of several trees. Excuse me. So there's like a bunch of trees backing on like our yard. The end of our yard before it turns into a field is like a whole bunch of pine trees, and there's a garden underneath all of that. So it's kind of like our yard is surrounded by a garden, and every 1 meter there's a bunch of peonies. I didn't know there were so many. So every meter there's a huge bush, and peonies are beautiful, and they're just these big, beautiful pink, purple fuchsia flowers that come, like, heavy, big flowers. So that's exciting. I'm really excited to see them bloom this year because they bloomed the first year we were here. And the second year we were here, we cleared out the garden, which was good for the peonies, but then we covered them. And Alex and I stepped on them while doing other gardening, so they didn't bloom. So now they've had a whole year of waiting. So this year I anticipate we're going to get some crazy peony blooms. I'm really hopeful. I want to show you, by the way, don't judge my outfit. I want to show you what I picked for you this morning. Our little daffodils, they smell just insane. They are so pretty. What a weird little variety they are. They're not the typical ones that I'm used to seeing around here. You know, the yellow ones. These are white flowers with a little yellow cup inside, and they smell, they smell somewhere between like a funeral and like just outside in the springtime. The funeral part, not a big fan of, obviously, but the springtime part, you know, like how like, lilac, and try to make them so you can see how cute they are. There. That's nice. Those are cute, aren't they? They're so happy. Doesn't it look like a spring setting here? Also, I filmed a bunch of my plants this weekend for you guys. Lori, I did film the my favorite plants and how to care for them. It'll be in the vlog as well, but that's why there's all these plants on this side right now, because I was filming them. And I think it's going to be I think the vlog is going to have some like good stuff in it. Like I think it'll be a good energy. I had a good time filming it. So I hope you guys enjoy watching it. That'll come out this week. Probably Thursday? I think it's Thursday. But anyway, we're going to have peonies. We're going to have a literal crap ton of black-eyed Susans, a crap ton of nasturtium, a crap ton of marigolds, so much dill, so much chamomile. I'm ready. I'm ready. You don't understand how like ready I am for spring. To like literally spring. Because it's so close. Every time I go out into the backyard, I just want to put something into the garden, but I can't because we still have one more rototill to do and one more amendment to do. We're going to put a little bit of topsoil in just because the topsoil has a little bit of sand in it, like when you get black earth topsoil from the garden center. And I think that'll just finish off because we mixed in peat moss. We have like heavily clay soil, mostly clay, with a little bit of sand. And the peat moss mixed into that, which lightened up the clay, softened everything up, and then I added a little bit of topsoil. Alex rototilled that in, and it helped. So I think we'll probably do another $20 worth of topsoil, so like 10 or 20 bags of topsoil we'll put into those gardens. Alex will rototill one more time, but we're waiting until after this big rainfall. We were supposed to have rain all weekend. Saturday and Sunday we were supposed to get rain. We didn't get any rain yet, so this week we're going to get a bunch of rain. After the rain, which will, I guess, mix everything a little bit more together, then we will put the last of the topsoil on. Alex will rototill it one more time, and then I'm going to plant. It could be planted right now. It's safe to plant it right now. The dirt is fine, but if Alex is willing to rototill it one more time, I'm happy to have him rototill it one more time. So that's the plan. That's my plan. I'm very excited about the tomatoes. We planted Mad Hatter peppers last year, and it's coming back to life? Really? I feel like I heard that somewhere on a YouTube channel recently, that peppers in other places, peppers are a perennial, they're not annual. Like in Canada, they're an annual. At the end of the year, they die, you pull them out, you put them in the green bin, and you start again the next year. But in warmer climates, I think peppers can come back, so you must be somewhere warm enough that they can come back. That's around Memorial Day for us. Oh, okay, cool. I live in Ohio, but it always seems we have similar weather going on. Oh, are we on the same, like, latitude, maybe? Our kale survived the winter. So, Sid, if your kale survives, can it go a whole other season being yummy kale, or is it going to be, like, bitter adult kale? You know? Because, you know, young kale, it's different. It's less tough. I know you can eat the little baby leaves and stuff, but you know, is it still like, is it still a good green, or would it be like for, like, I don't know, making kale chips or something, you know? Hello friends! Hello Frida, good morning. Nice to see you this morning. Coastal NC here. It's mature. Mature. An actor. Sounds exciting. Very. Same here with the tomatoes. For my tomatoes, they're not looking great, but my nasturtium is making up for it. I've decided if my tomatoes aren't great, I'll just plant more tomatoes. I just plant more. I'll just keep planting. My plan is to have an obscene garden. I want it to look like this, but outside. I want to go out into my yard and just be overwhelmed by the amount of green taking over my eyesight. I just want to be surrounded by food and flowers and bugs and birds, not ticks. Oh my god, another tick was on me again, in my hair again. So now I've had 2 ticks in my hair this spring, probably from walking under trees while working on stuff, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It wasn't on me yet, it was just like in my hair, but it still scares the bejesus out of me. I do not like it. I got a chocolate mint and a pink orange rose. Roses are so pretty. I can't wait till we have like our final destination. I'll put roses at our final destination. I have no luck with kale. Lots of little wormies. Really? I've never had any problems with kale here, Soxy. I wonder if where you are has like different temperatures, so different predators. I love tomatoes, but when I grow them, they end up splitting. Rebecca, you gotta pick them before the rain. You always gotta pick them before the rain. If you know there's any rain coming, you gotta pick them. You gotta do it. If you don't pick them and then it rains, they're always gonna split. Also, another way that you can make sure that they don't split, when the tomatoes are itty bitty, still green, overwater your plants a little bit, like every day or every other day, water the plant when the tomatoes are little, and that way there will be a lot of water in it to begin with, as opposed to if it's super dry outside and they're growing the fruit with like minimal amounts of water, then when water happens, like if you water them once they're already formed, then it'll split. But if you're watering it as they're forming, then they won't split. So I don't know if that'll help, but water them more when the tomatoes are still green. My dream is to live in a giant, lush, overgrown forest. Caroline, let's do it. This year there will be a rose garden. I'm excited, Frida. I'm excited to see, because you've been talking about your roses. I'm excited to see them start blooming. It must smell amazing when they're all in bloom. Do you guys watch Roots and Refuge? Of course you watch Roots and Refuge. Her roses this year, envious is what I am. Caroline, you should see where I live. Literally in an overgrown forest, Frida. In Sweden. I'm from Sweden. PewDiePie's from Sweden. Anyway, we got a lot of rain here, or it's too hot and dry. Yeah, so it's one of the two, right? Yeah. For me, the only ones that split are the yellow ones. Do you hear that? The yellow... What's going on in there? It sounds like a brawl. But it's only the little chickens fighting. The big chickens don't sound like that anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
They sound like chickens?
Well, they don't sound like that. They sound like raspier.
Oh.
Try Morden Rossford, Manitoba. So easy to grow. Morden Rossford, Manitoba. What is that? Is it tomatoes? Morden Rossford, Manitoba tomatoes? So easy to grow. The only tomatoes that crack for me, though, are the yellow pear ones, and I don't like them anyway, because they're, like, acid-free, so they taste not like a tomato. PewDiePie is, or at least he dog whistles to them a ton. Yeah, I don't think that he is, but dog whistling to them a ton, possible. I don't watch him anymore. I watched him probably like 2 years ago. Alex and I had like a PewDiePie. Remember we had like a moment where we watched his videos pretty much every day for like a couple of months. And then it just kind of, it's just he's talking to children, you know what I mean? So like at first it's fun to go like, haha, silly things, but for the most part he's talking to kids. So it's just like, not entertaining anymore. But I didn't know that he dog whistles to them. I mean, I know that he says things, but I thought he was just like trolling on the fact that people say that he is. But if the people who he says he is not are supporting him because they think that he is, isn't that still bad? He got really bad over the last couple of years. Honestly, though, I haven't kept up enough to have a really strong opinion on it. When I watched him, I thought he was kind of goofy, and what did I even watch? Like meme reviews, I guess? But that was like, again, it was a period of time. I don't know much, again. I didn't know that he's like actually a bad dude. I thought he was just Like, well, he attracts bad dudes. Like, the people who people say that he is, they come to his videos because they think that he must actually be. Which, yeah. I'm trying not to use those words. You know what I'm saying, though, right? Okay. Frida, Scandinavian forests are superior. The Danish forests are just as amazing. Caroline, I've never been in a Danish forest. We always go to the amazing beaches. Literally did an apology with an icon with an iron cross on his lapel. Big, big yikes. I'm just cued in because I'm very politically active in de-radicalization circles. Interesting. Well, we don't support him anymore then. Not that I supported him. I don't support anyone, honestly, let's be honest. But regardless, thank you for letting me know. I didn't know. I know he's from Sweden. That's what I know. And I know his wife is pretty and from Italy. Those are the things I know about him. That's true, we do beaches really well. We're just literally just one really long beach. That's how I feel about, like, Iceland. I want to go to Iceland because you can just drive around the whole thing. Morning, everyone. I'm late. Jeez, V. Well, that's okay. Here are some flowers for you. Some daffodils. Here, let me put them so you can see them. Aren't they pretty? And they smell really good, too. Anyway, thanks, Sid. I'm looking up how to start a garlic and onion patch. Oh gosh, my mom has 2 garlic patches right now, and one of her 3 garlic patches right now, and one of those garlic patches, she started them from seed. She just wanted to see if she could. If you start garlic from seed, it takes 2 years to come to fruition, as opposed to if you start it from like a garlic clove, it takes 1 season. Like, you plant them in like October and then they are harvestable the following summer. But my mom planted seeds last year and they lived, so now she has garlic that she's like connected to because it's like a baby garlic, and she's gonna like, basically she's gonna just start breeding magical varieties of garlic, I guess. They can both be perennials, right? I mean, but you pull out the bulb to eat it. So maybe, but like if you leave it as a perennial, will it still be garlic to harvest? I have 3 cloves started from bulbs I got at work that were sprouting. Cool. I wonder if they'll work. My mom, whenever she does it, I'll let you know when she starts planting her garlic. She pulls all of the pieces apart, but you can leave the paper on. You don't have to peel off the paper part, but you pull off the thing, and then she dips it in a half and half of bleach water mixture, because that kills anything on the clove that can do something bad while it's trying to do stuff underground. I don't know what. Obviously something, bacteria or something, but she dips it in a half and half of bleach and water and then plants them with the green side pointing up, but you don't have to remove the paper. I don't know if that helps. She also, if she's ever buying from somewhere to buy garlic to try and make plants from, she always buys the organic, because maybe something to do with the ones that aren't organic, maybe they'll sprout but they might not turn into a full garlic. There's some kind of magic that she does with her garlic. But I know she bleaches it because I can't help that part because it's chlorine. But cool that you have 3 cloves started. I have a potato plant that now lives in our bathroom. It's just a potato vine. Like, I had a potato that had sprouted, so I planted it, and now it's a vine. I'm thinking if you leave it to spread a couple of years, then we can harvest the scant amount we actually eat and still have an established patch to keep going. Interesting. I don't know. My mom pulls them all out at the end of every season, and then she hangs them to dry for a long time, and then the ones that she wants to plant the next year go in at one location, and the ones that are for sale and eating go in another location. Oh yeah, everything in our produce at work is organic. I'm a hippie co-op. That's awesome, Sid. That's cool. Caroline, yes, me too, Frida says. I definitely want to see some more of Norway and Finland too. Same. That sounds like an awesome backpacking trip. Sweden, Norway, Finland, and where else? Denmark. The Danish forests are not as big as the Swedish ones, but just as magical. I too miss my Scandinavian brothers and sisters. You guys are funny. I want to come to Scandinavia. Sounds like a nice backpacking trip or living trip. We could just come there and not leave. I'd love me a hippie co-op. Same. Well, I need to find a co-op because apparently at co-ops you can buy grain in large quantities. The only place that you can buy grain is at the feed store, but it's only like the 4 types of grain that are in chicken feed or horse or whatever. But I want to buy several different types of grain in bulk, but you have places to stay. Frida, so do you. If you guys ever come to Southern Ontario, hit me up. And same, if I come to Sweden, I'm definitely coming to see the dog, the bunnies, the beautiful red house. Gotta see it. There was supposed to be a smile at the end there. I figured. Whenever there's a colon and anything, I'm like, it's some type of emoji, even if it didn't work. But shoot, what was I gonna say? Oh, I lost it. I lost my train of thought. I'm not a backpacker. I want a nice hotel. Fair. Oh, hippie co-op, right. So for grain, you have to either find a granary or you use the feed store, but the feed store obviously sells it for a lot of money because it's feed, whereas if you buy it for like human consumption in 50-pound bags, it's somehow cheaper than when you're buying the buying the human consumption ones, or the animal consumption ones, or New Brunswick. I will house any of you beans if you ever want to explore the East. Melanie? I'll take you up on that, because New Brunswick's on the way to Nova Scotia, and we have to drive through it anyway. We could do a little handmade afternoon, and then we'll get back on our drive. That would be fun. But yeah, so there's that. Frida, little brick or wood houses? Little red houses, so fun. Alex wants to have a yellow door. He mentioned that randomly recently, and he was like, I would like a yellow door. I want to have the house with the yellow door. And I was like, I'm happy having the house with the yellow door. Fine with me. And then I was like, do we want to have like a red house or a green house or a blue house, or just the door has to be yellow? He's like, don't care. Just the yellow door. The drive-through province. That would be super fun. Oh my God, please. I'm down. Next time we go to Nova Scotia, which because of this pandemic could be a little bit longer than we would like. Little red wood houses. Little red wood houses, little Swedish houses. Do you guys want to see how some of my plants are getting on? I want a greenhouse. I want a greenhouse. I don't necessarily want a greenhouse, but I do want a greenhouse, you know? Speaking of which, Alex and I also found a couple of tents for the wedding that we're probably going to buy one of them soon because it needs some time to get delivered. I'm going to go grab some of the plants I'm proud of, okay? BRB. What are you guys doing? You causing trouble in here? Never. Good morning, Baltimore. Okay, let me show you my nasturtiums and there's nothing else that's super exciting except my nasturtiums. I planted another planter full, and look, they have now sprouted baby nasturtiums on their way out. So this is going to be a whole big flower pot out in the front of our house full of nasturtium flowers. But look at how big these ones are. They're like literally plants. They're pretty much ready to go outside. I've got 4 leaves and a 5th one already coming out. And I have like 10 of them that are this size. So, look, I'm basically a god. That's how I feel about nasturtiums. They make me feel quite powerful. This all came out of a seed, you guys. Like, it was just a seed. Oh my gosh, different kinds are coming out of this. Look. So this is an assorted pack of different types of nasturtium. And look, there's 2 completely different looking seedlings. The green one and then the darker colored one. So exciting! Did all of them sprout? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's a 6th one that should be in the middle. 5 of 6 is a pretty good rate of germination though. Hi Laura, how are you doing today? Hi Tracy, good morning. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you doing today? Melanie, I would like a greenhouse outside my greenhouse, please. Yeah, I would like an outside greenhouse next to my greenhouse. Please. Yeah, a big farmhouse with the straw roofs and dark wooden beams. Ooh, you know what I like is the German cottage. You know, like where they have like that decorative lacy wood thing that goes on the like eaves. And they have like the little cottage shutters, the wooden shutters on the outsides of the windows, and little window boxes on all the windows with flowers in them. Literally, I just want I want to be a witch in a German cottage in the forest. Alex can come too, and Thunder, and the chickens. I'm doing well, thanks. I'm glad. Caroline, I think the Danish more on the countryside houses are lovely. If there's a grass roof, bonus points. That's so cool. Grass roofs are so cool. Straw roofs. How long do they last for? A while, right? Laura, yes. Yes, oh my god, in a forest. Yeah, I just want a German cottage in the forest. They're dark green, so you know what? I guess I do want a dark green or an Austrian mountain lodge. Yes, an Austrian mountain lodge would also be fine. Honestly, though, I think I'd prefer the German cottage. I really like the lacy wood details. I don't know what they're called. They have like a specific name, but I really like that look of the white, like, details on a dark green house with a yellow door, apparently. Quite long if you take care of them. I would imagine they would last quite long if you take care of them. Do they get patched? Like, I don't understand. So interesting. Alex will be your forest warlock, and Thunder, a small elf. Thunder is a small elf. You can't see him, but he is right here, under the table. Being a small elf. Very small. Alex will be my forest warlock. He'll be, what will Alex actually be? He'll be like the huntsman, you know? And I'll be my little Snow White self singing to the birds. He won't steal my heart. That's so nice of him. Oh wait, he did steal my heart though. But not in the way that the huntsman did. Because he like cut out a heart. But anyway, you know what that is. You know the vibe. But anyway, my nasturtiums are doing very... Excuse you! I think not. Almost an escape attempt just happened. Anyway, yeah, nasturtiums are going to be all over the place in our backyard and in our front yard and in my whole life. I am going to be a nasturtium lady. And if you don't know what a nasturtium is, look it up, because one of the plants that we bought, one of the varieties I got is a climbing nasturtium. There's bush types and climbing types, and the climbing type I got climbs up to 20 feet. So it's going on a huge trellis, and it's going to have maybe not 20 feet available, but like 15 feet available to climb. So there's going to be like greens and beautiful red and orange purple flowers coming off of this huge thing. It's going to be very good. I'm very excited about it. I really, really, really want to have a beautiful garden this year. Like, aside from for our wedding, I'm also just really excited to like see all the life that I can put into the backyard. He humanely stole your heart without ripping it out. Yeah, he humanely stole my heart. There was no Lauras were harmed in the stealing of my heart. A lot of the really old houses in the Danish countryside, Caroline says, have some of the original straw still. Not all. Mostly the straw is on the underside. That's interesting. That's interesting that it would last a long time. But why wouldn't it, right? Like, if you're taking care of it, if it's not getting wet and molding, why not? What's it holding into? Is it green? Is it like grass that has roots? Or is it grass that's like patched in and it's dry? I think the reeds are very good at transporting away the rain. Right. Reeds? Are they called reeds? Do you mean the plant roofs, or do you mean the German decorations? I'm confused. But, yeah, I'm really excited. Really, really excited for this spring, you guys. Like, super excited. Like, I just want to start planting so I can show you what I've grown. And I've grown so much chamomile. Like, I'm so excited to see it start making flowers and start harvesting the flowers. Our wedding is going to be scented as chamomile. Our wedding is going to smell like chamomile. What an awesome vibe. I'm very happy with my little house built in the early 90s but renovated, and it will slowly transform to my liking. I have a lot of plans. That's awesome. I want a little house. I want a little house on the edge of the forest. And this house is great, don't get me wrong, like I do love it, but it's too big. It's too big for like the lifestyle that I want. Like, it's, again, great. Love it right now. But like long term, it's more house than I think we need. I don't think we need all the space we have. I would rather have more outdoor space, you know? Yay, spring. V, literally. What are you guys growing, by the way? I know that V, you've started growing a whole bunch of stuff, but what's everybody else growing in your gardens? What are you going to grow? Are you growing food? Are you growing flowers? And if you're growing flowers, what are you going to grow? because I still need inspiration for other flowers, because I don't have a lot of like imagination when it comes to flowers. The ones that I know and that I like, I grew them. I have grown them, but I don't know what I don't know, you know? Frida, I know, roses and rhododendron, great options. Both of them are perennials. I'm more interested this year in looking at the annuals because I want to have like a magical summer garden by the end of summer. And perennials, great, but I want it to look amazing this year rather than building off of it. I will build off of it. That'll be some jobs for the fall time, but for this summer, I want magic. My house is 130 kVm. Okay, so is that 130 meters squared? We do it in squared feet here. I don't know how big that is, to be honest. Great for two with hobbies. Yeah. I don't know how big that is, but I understand. I understand how big it is, but I can't visualize how big it is. Pilgrims settled on our yard. Really, we have a man-made rock walls, and a bunch of random wild blackberry grapes, cherries that are just growing here. Where are you in the world, Doxies? Because we have lots of wild blackberries that grow like brambly all through our forest and also all along the side of our field. They're a fun thing in the summer. Let me see. Well, the straw roofs are dried straw, but the grass roofs are just planted directly into the roof. Oh, very cool. That's really cool. Southern Massachusetts. Okay, so you have similar weather to us, and that makes sense. You have similar forests. But cool that you have a man-made rock wall. That's really cool. That's something that I want, like, in our town, or the town that is, like, the most... We're not part of it, but, like, we're right on the border of it. Anyway, there's this town, and it's a little old town full of rich old people, because that's the only people... They bought it before they were rich, and now it's just, like, a beautiful oldie town. Anyway, there's a bunch of old houses, 100-year-old homes, 200-year-old homes that have rock walls around the whole property, and the wall is only 2 feet tall, but it's beautiful and I want it. I don't need it to be super tall, but imagine how inconvenient it would be to rob a place with like a 2-foot rock wall. Just inconvenient. It's not going to make it impossible. It's just like people who live on like a walk-up building, like where the garage is at ground level, but you have to go up like 10 stairs to get to the front door. You're just safe there. You're just never going to get robbed. No one wants to carry a TV out of that. Not that I'm ever worried about getting robbed in the country, let's be honest. Like, for the most part, it's quite quiet out here. But I like the idea of the security that a 2-foot rock wall brings. Alex wants to plant cactuses all around the outside of our property. And I was like, well, why don't we just do roses then? If you want to do something like that's going to hurt people if they try to come in without us knowing. Let's just do roses, then it'll be beautiful and dangerous. Tracy, I have lily of the valley, and I grow irises, marigolds, and zinnias. I want to grow zinnias this year. I think my mom grew some, so that's my hope, is that she will have additionals. Oh, my neck is so sore. Oh, God, did you hear that? Oh, I just needed a really good crack. Let me see. I love geraniums. They're so hardy and bloom all summer, even in my zone 5A. Melanie, my mom grows geraniums in vast quantities, like so many geraniums that when you go into the area of her backyard right now where they're all on tables, they're not planted anywhere yet, they're just like babies. Hundreds of geraniums. So I can do some geraniums. That's possible. Irises, I have them growing naturally outside already. Irises and daylilies, I've got lots of those. Lily of the Valley is beautiful, Tracy. That's something that I want to do in our, like, we have an area where there's like moss growing and like shady plants, hostas. I think Lily of the Valley would do really well there. Art, journey with me. Good morning. Hi, beautiful plants. We're growing a blueberry tree and wild strawberries this year. That's exciting. Blueberry tree. We only have them as like a low shrub, but maybe that's what you mean when you say it, like a tree shrub type thing. But very cool that you're growing strawberries. Wild strawberries are wonderful, and I am growing not wild strawberries, just the regular kind this year. Oh my God, what beautiful roofs! Roofs with a planted roof, and then the straw roof. Those are beautiful, really pretty. if you're like, what are you talking about? I was just checking Discord, which is like our chat room for all of the people in this group. If you'd like to join the Discord, join my Patreon, $2 a month. You get access to the Discord. You also get access to all of my bullet journal patterns, which, by the way, I know I haven't posted one. I apologize, patrons. There's going to be extras this week. I just need Alex to take a bunch of the photos because I don't want to do it right now, and it's hard to make myself do something that I'm really not into. So I'm going to have Alex take photos so I can edit them and put them on Patreon. But you get bullet journal patterns and bullet journal spreads and access to the Discord. So join there, link in the description. Hi Laura, really late this morning. Needed some me coffee time. I get it. I did that yesterday. I had my tea outside with the chickens. Just quietly enjoyed the tea with the chickens. Yes, yes, those small trees. Yes, they taste like lollipops. Blueberries are delightful. But the wild strawberries are like nothing else. I don't think there's anything like wild strawberries. They're like little raspberry-sized strawberries, but ooh, so sweet, so juicy. I have 2 strawberry plants. I hope that they will produce a fruit this year. I don't have high expectations for them because they're just very small right now, but maybe we'll get a fruit. If not, next year. You know, they grow, they keep growing. I want to be that house that people call, you know, the one with all the rhododendrons. Frida, totally. Melanie, the geraniums, I never have liked them, not because I don't like them, but because my mom has always grown them. So to me, they're like not special. Like other people love geraniums, they love the leaves, the smell, the flowers, but to me they're like a dandelion. Like I don't see them the way that other people see them. Like when I see a zinnia, I'm like, what? This just grows in the ground? Or whenever I see my mom's black-eyed Susans or any of her like cone flower varieties, beautiful. When I see a geranium, I don't feel the same way about it. I don't know why. They're beautiful. But I guess just because they've been such a staple in my house growing up, they never got to feel like a special flower. They're just like, my mom has them, they come out of the ground every year. They go into the garage in paper bags. Then they come back out and they go outside again. Like my mom is, we have geraniums for days. But maybe that'll be something I can put out in the front and I'll come to love it again? I don't know. Sid, yes, special gloves that go up to the elbow are needed. Beautiful razor wire, exactly, Sid, for roses, totally. 1,400 square feet, thank you, Frida. And V, I posted on Discord more things I'm growing this year. Oh, awesome. My Grammy loves geraniums. Ooh, just V. V posted some, let's see. Ooh, you went to Baker Creek. Feather Mix, Morning Glories. Those are cute, little stars. The beets, my mom grows beets like that. Those are pretty. Black Nebula, very pretty. Pink Bumblebee tomatoes, that's cool too. My Grammy loves geraniums. My mom really does. She has so many kinds, so many colors, so many kinds, so many... And she cuts them all up every spring and reroots them all every spring. And they're all the same plant that they've always been, but they grow, again, new every year. So it's like, it's interesting. I know what you mean. They're an old fave for us too. It's the only plant that can withstand direct salt spray from the ocean at the cottage. Oh, they are hardy then. Very tough. That's interesting. We used to plant them at her parents' graves every year. Aw, that's lovely. That's very sweet. We have a neighbor down the street who plants them every year, and they have like these, like, they're like wooden buckets, you know, like the wooden pails that would be like part of an old well, you know, and they're like on their side and they're always like spilling out with geraniums, and it looks really cute. So maybe there is a way I could find that I could enjoy geraniums. I just feel like I don't get the feeling about them. I don't know why. You'd think that I would feel more about them because my mom always grew them, but for some reason they don't have a special place the way that you'd think they would. Maybe I just need to grow them for myself and then I'll fall in love with them. Karen, I love orchids. Orchids are beautiful, aren't they? I wish they could live outside in the summer here. Everything is an indoor plant if it's tropical for us, but the lemon tree, the bird of paradise, and our fig trees will all go out. Mary Grace, I think they look weird. Yeah, and also they don't look pretty when the flowers dry off. Like the flowers don't die pretty. But you know. Yeah, so maybe I'll put some geraniums in our one area. I have an area in the front yard that has like a big stump upside down looking like it's on purpose. We have a little baby willow tree. Maybe I'll put some there. Find a weird variety. Or it's prettier, much more delicate cousin, the begonia. Are they cousins? Really? My mom and grandpa also are begonia folk. Not begonias the way that like all the planty people are this year, more begonias that go outside in the summer. My uncle gives me an orchid for my birthday every year. That's kind of adorable. That's really cool. Orchids are beautiful. I've not had luck with them ever, but I think they are beautiful. Someday I hope to have orchids that I can keep alive, but for some reason every time I've grown orchids they have always died. Like just a sad death, a slow, sad decline. With many interventions from me trying to help, never seems to do it. Oh well. I like tulips and irises. Tulips are beautiful. We've got tulips coming up everywhere in our front yard. We have, most of our gardens are like perennial gardens here. Like it was an older Italian couple who lived here for 40 years before we moved in. So all of the gardens are well-established perennial gardens. So we get like tulips in the spring and daffodils and crocuses, and then it like forms into the next plant for that year. So each like garden bed has a cycle of flowers that comes up. So I do really like that. I do like the peonies that we're gonna get this year. I'm very excited for. We have these beautiful white flowers. I feel like they're anemones, some kind of anemone. We have 2 lantana bushes. What's a lantana bush? What do they do? Geraniums remind me of funerals. For me, it's what reminds me of funerals? The smell of Easter lilies. Easter lilies. Whenever I bring them home, bring them into the house, I should say, because we have Easter lilies outside. They smell like death to me. I love olives. Do you hunt? Yes. I'm not a big fan of green olives, but I love black olives. Like, I'll eat green olives in specific situations. Like, if there's like a green olive, I'll eat it, but for the most part, I will prefer black olives. Formaldehyde? Lol. Ew, yeah. No, I don't understand why we still do that. Gross. My uncle is developmentally related, loves plants, and we have that in common. Oh, that's lovely. That he gets you an orchid every year. Are they always different? Or is it like you get a white orchid? Like, does he get you different colors? That's cool. Man, I wonder what it's like plant shopping in all of your other countries. Like here, plant shopping is so one way, but what I've heard is that like the Netherlands has like insane houseplant marketing. Like you could get so many more things. I just want to I want to go somewhere that has like really good plant markets. They are a woody bush, like a flowering plant. The flowers are pink, yellow, and orange. Interesting. Okay, let me look it up. I don't have my phone, which is very inconvenient when I want to just look something up quickly. Lantana. Makes me think of Santana. Carlos Santana. Lantana plant. Ooh, pretty. That gives me zinnia vibes. Is it a zinnia friend? Or am I just not a person who knows anything? Probably that's more accurate. Some of them, the orange ones, give me kind of marigold, zinnia vibes. Pretty though, really pretty. I like that there's ones that have purple and yellow on the same plant. Lovely. I love your shirt, by the way. The colors are so pretty. Thank you. I love it too. It's like 10 years old and I paid $3 for it at a strip mall in Buffalo. If you have a big garden, plant a magnolia tree. Oh God, I want a magnolia tree. There's so many in our neighborhood, in our town. They're so beautiful. I love magnolia trees. Yes, that is definitely on the list of things I want in my yard. How is my ankle? Not ideal. It hurts to walk, but other than that, I'm okay. And it is your birthday. It's not my birthday today. On May 6th, it's my birthday. May 6th, not till Thursday. I give him plants too, or seeds, and he loves my handmade books or knitted stuff. He's such a happy, lovely person. That's so nice. Aw. I wish I had better relationships with my extended family. Everybody's just far apart, and so far apart in age too, that it's kind of like everybody is your great aunt. You know what I mean? Like you're friendly and you'll give them a hug and a kiss when you see them. I mean, not nowadays, but I mean, that sort of thing, but we don't like talk casually outside of the family events. That would be fun. Like other people have like cousins who they like hang out with. That's not like the way that my family is. Like, yeah, we see each other, but it's not like we weren't like outside of family friends with our family. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't like hang out outside of family events. I think we have a gardenia in the yard. The flowers smell very sweet. Gardenia. I like that name for like a very, very old princess. Gardenia. My neighbor's driveway is lined with yellow magnolias. Yellow magnolias? I've only had them here pink. I only ever see them pink here. Yay, happy incipient birthday. Almost. Impending. My birthday is impending. It's coming. I think it's because we're Italian, but like the way, like all the way to my fourth cousins were close. Honestly, the person in my head I was thinking of is my best friend who's Italian, and that's exactly it. She's friends with her second cousins. Like they hang out aside from seeing each other for dinner, you know? But totally. It's not, we just, our family is far and wide across Canada, so it's, the only family I have close by is like my grandpa, my mom's side, my mom's siblings, that sort of stuff. And even my cousins, they're far away right now. I only have 2 cousins, like, total. That's what we have. Just 2. We have, like, extended, I guess they wouldn't even be my cousins, though, because they're my mom's cousin's kids. We just call them our cousins. That's the most extended, like, young family we have. We don't have any, like, there's not very many people in my age range anymore. I couldn't tell you how many cousins I have. I could literally name every single family member. That's how small our unit is. Gardenias are my grandma's favorite. They do smell divine and would be a great addition to the potpourri. Well, they won't grow in 1 year though, will they? Can I grow gardenias this year? Let me Google it. Like, what annual plants should I add into the list of things I need to put into the garden? Wow, those are beautiful. They're like roses, but they do smell more. I can see that they smell more. They have like heavy petals, like those like Hawaiian flowers, you know? We're a very close family, Frida says. More on my mom's side. I grew up with my cousin on my mom's side. She's practically my sister. I have 7 cousins on my dad's side, 2 in England. That's cool. I don't think I have any cousins elsewhere in the world. Like, maybe I have people that I don't know exist in Lithuania, because my dad's parents are both from Lithuania. So, like, maybe my dad's parents, I know my dad's mom, my Nana, I know she had, like, 13 siblings. She was the youngest. So there are family members in Nova Scotia, or in Lithuania, but they don't know that I exist, and I don't know that they exist, you know? My family that I know exists, I have family in Vancouver and in Nova Scotia, 2 ends of Canada. I hadn't seen my cousin in 10 years, and we live the next town over. I was in the bathroom at a yacht club and ran into her. Fancy. The bathroom at the yacht club. Only grandchild on both sides. So yeah, just living your life there, Melanie. You're welcome to my home if you ever visit the Netherlands. I will take you up on that, Wilma. And you're welcome in my home if you ever visit Southern Ontario. That would be so fun. I would love to host you guys. I would love to visit you guys. That would be so weird and cool. Hi, we've talked online for 2 years. Let's hang out. Do yarn crafts together. Yes, it's a wonderful tree to have. Here in Switzerland, we have white and pink magnolias. Yes, white and pink here too. I guess white. I've missed white. I hope it gets well soon. Super. Yes, I sure hope so. I hope my ankle is on the mend faster than it is. Melanie, are you slightly spoiled, right? Being the only grandchild on both sides, right? You know what your parents should have done? Put for your middle names all the grandparents' names so that they all, like, have a connection. They're like, that's my namesake. Family gatherings for me are huge. We celebrated our engagement in Colombia. We were at about 80, and friends were just 6. Oh my goodness. Crazy. Sorry for my wrong first flag. That's all right. That's Germany, isn't it? I'm cool with it. I have a very small family. My parents are only children. Oh, wow. So yeah, that would be, it's so crazy how it can, that's a thing, you know? You can have a family where you don't have any cousins, you don't have any, you're just your grandparents and your parents, and that's all, you're the only kid. And then there's families where, like, you've got friends with your 4th cousins. Like, there's just people on people on people. So interesting. And it's interesting because you would have a completely different upbringing, having no nobody except you as the only of your generation, because you just would, versus having like 6 kids in the house. And yet, we all have things in common, you know? Interesting. Oh, interesting. I have no biological cousins that aren't first or second cousins. Wow. Yes, Frida, it's not good. I'm now terrible with money as an adult. Oops. Melanie, that's awesome. Although, you always have someone to turn to. Louisa, wow, we are regularly about 17 people, non-corona times, of course. Everyone comes to everyone's birthday. Oh, that would be fun. We don't do that anymore. I think this year, oh, it's the 2nd year that my birthday is during a pandemic. This is my 2nd pandemic birthday. On Thursday, I turned 29 years old. Can you believe that? I'm going to be almost 30. I've thought I was 29 for the last like 6 months and then realized I was 28 turning 29. So like age is not real during pandemic times anyway. So, but I'm turning 29 on Thursday. And it was only my family. My husband is from India. Oh my goodness. There's just all those people, but just that must have been fun though. I have more than 60 cousins and second cousins. Dad, 7 siblings. Mom, 6 siblings. Oh my goodness. Gosh, that's a lot. Tomorrow my mom turns 51. Happy birthday, Mom. Let your mom know we say happy birthday, Doxy. Happy early birthday. Thank you, Mary Grace. And it was only my family. Oh, that's so crazy, though. Big families would be fun. We didn't have big family growing up. Like, we just had, like, when I would be, like, seeing people who were in my family, like, on the reg, it would be, like, my grandpa and my grandma, my 2 cousins, and either my uncle or my aunt would be there, you know? And my 2 cousins now, they both are, like, abroad, so it's not like we see each other often. My family used to be closer, but my parents had the most kids, and no one wanted to buy that many gifts. Yeah, it was only a couple years ago we stopped doing gifts at Christmas for extended family, because I don't know why we were even doing that for so long. But yeah. I remember when we were little, like now I think of it like with all the kids, in my family, we have 4 of us. We've already talked about it. Like when we all have kids, we're not doing gifts for each other anymore, right? We're just doing the kids. And we've all talked about it. None of us have kids and we're like, yeah, no, thanks. Okie dokie, I have a whole page of notes just on onions. Now I gotta get ready for my car to have the tires changed. Yay, spring. True, Alex needs to change our tires from winter to summer tires too. Also, it's 10:15. I gotta go, you guys. We're only supposed to be here till 10. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Have a really good rest of your Monday. Wash your hands. Try not to rip off all of your nails like I did during this live stream. Even though I love you guys and I don't feel anxious, I still ripped off many of my nails during this live stream. Gifts are not the important part. We often just do a flower or something small. I love that. Flowers. I would love to trade plants for breakfast for Christmas. That'd be way better. Okay, friends, I love you guys so much. Thank you for coming. If you had a good time, don't forget to like the video. If you had a really bad time, then don't forget to dislike the video. And if you're new, subscribe and be super pumped for on Thursday's vlog, because it's going to be an awesome vlog. And I will see you on Wednesday, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday. I will be back. Thank you so much.